I feel the same way.
The thrill of the hunt.
Well, for a line where 90+% of it is super cheap in package, yes,
It's lovely.
if it was anything else that had some kind of aftermarket value, then yeah, at that point I might employ Don to work his hunting and dealing skills to get me good prices on choice things.
Yeah, that store, Toy Federation in South Carolina, has like hundreds of them for $5 each. It's lovely.
I miss when I could go into either of the two McKays in Tennessee, maybe three, but I've only been to two of them that I can remember. And I don't know, I haven't checked, but like even before everything had to shut down, the supply of Star Trek figures had severely dried up.
I'm still predicting that one day these things are going to be hideously expensive and it's going to be entirely you and Mickey's fault.
Good.
So you're very lucky that you got that thing you got today, Brian, because
poor Don.
I checked mine. They still say they're arriving tomorrow, but they haven't been shipped yet. So I don't think
Alicons or Quintessons?
Alicons.
I don't have it.
Yeah. I've still got arriving tomorrow, but they haven't shipped out yet.
Yeah. From where?
Oh, okay.
Amazon.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mine are like October.
At least Matt's in the same boat with me. I'm not alone.
I haven't got any delay notices about them from Amazon yet, but they're the scheduled delivery date is tomorrow and they haven't shipped yet. So.
I got delay notices from Hasbro Pulse for all of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got delay notices from Hasbro Pulse for stuff I didn't even order.
What?
Yeah, they sent me a delay notice for a Star Wars figure. I'm like, I sent them something to customer service back. I'm like, I did not at any point order this item.
September 21st to October 19th.
Yeah, I think that's the window for mine too. I just ordered it though, so I have no excuse.
Oh.
I have to assume my other Wave 2 Deluxes are going to get pushed back like that after tomorrow too.
Airwave is saying preparing for shipment.
Oh. Maybe I'll take a look at mine.
I seem to be basically the only person though who has not gotten their $50 Skylink shipped yet.
The PayPal payment method might be delaying processing.
Yeah, could do.
Yeah, mine still say arriving tomorrow by 8 p.m., but they were not shipped.
I mean, I think there's still an outside possibility mine could arrive tomorrow because there's Amazon fulfillment centers pretty close to Nashville, and if they start from that close, they can do an overnight trip without too much trouble.
Although, all of my Marvel Legends that I'm getting, the classic series, like my Mary J. and my Peter Parker and the Green Goblin, they're all shipping.
All my Transformers and Power Ranger stuff has been delayed. Something.
Good times.
I got another notice. I can't remember what it was, but something's been delayed twice.
So Rodimus Supreme is noting the echo that I have. That's because the room is completely empty. There's nothing in here.
Once there's several hundred pounds of toys in there, it should clear up a little bit.
That will,
or
in this room.
A couple layers of blankets.
Yeah,
they're great diffusers. Toys, the answer to echoes everywhere.
Make yourself a blanket fort before showtime, Brian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We were kind of, pitching that idea on Twitter.
Yep. So
this morning or last night, I can't remember.
We moved this weekend, but I still have a bunch of stuff at the other house, including my entire collection, which is going to probably be next week before I start moving it.
What are you doing with the other house? You renting it?
We'll sell it, hopefully.
Gotcha.
I don't want to rent it. I would like to sell the other house that I have. I have too many houses.
That makes a certain amount of sense somehow. I can't quite explain it, but
yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be a little more on brand if it was diecast.
Yeah.
And he
Diecast wouldn't remember that he had them.
yeah, if he lost track of the houses that he had.
Diecast has like 3 houses in China that he has forgotten about.
Yeah. Well, I am considered a legal resident there, I'm pretty sure by now.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You're a licensed agent.
I filed all the paperwork for the LLC, but I haven't got like my tax ID number yet or anything.
So when you go through that, we need to chat because I have talked about it. I've talked to Ann about it. I've talked to folks about doing it for the podcast. I've just never pulled the trigger. So I can consult with you on it.
Okay. I mean, I already did it. I don't know if I did it the right way, but I did it. Because I figured if I just didn't jump in and do it, I would never do it. So I basically went through LegalZoom.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll end up doing.
What was that?
I'll probably end up using LegalZoom.
Yeah, that's what I did. And I I set up the LLC
Delaware?
in Delaware.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like everybody else.
But they say that's actually not. I was reading, because I keep reading conflicting things before I got on the podcast. I was looking for like 10 mistakes people do when starting an LLC. And one of them was saying like you should probably incorporate in your own state if you have less than 5 employees. And I was like, well, it's just me, so maybe I did the wrong thing, but I don't know.
Like Clockwork is asking why we're talking about LegalZoom. Diecast is registered in LLC for his business, and I've yet to do that for the podcast.
Yeah,
and
the
10
LLC
years from now.
Is 360 virtual tour specialists. So,
And Matt's real name is unknown.
because it makes you feel special when you have specialists in your title.
So now I sit here at my computer, and Matt's face flashes up across the screen, and then it flashes unknown, and his face mocks me. And I smash my computer terminal in anger. It's vaguely how what the killing joke. Never mind. Nothing. Sorry, I'm low energy. Low energy. Brian's real name is you. How do you make a
How do you make a
donation?
donation to RFC?
We have a Patreon.
tfradio.net/Patreon.
Oh,
Do you
and
remember?
I haven't seen Peter in a while.
Yeah.
Long time no see.
It's been long enough I've forgotten how to say his last name.
I never know how to say his last name. It's just Doctor.
Well, I pronounced it once, I think when I was hosting one week, and he said I got like really, really close to getting it just right.
Patreon.com/TFRadio.
I know it's not correct, but I would say Peter Galifianakis, because that's when I look at it real quick. That's what it makes me think of.
You know. Again, Zach Galifianakis he's Wilkes County's most famous resident, or not resident, person now. Since nobody cares about NASCAR anymore.
He lived there.
He's from there. Yeah, I know lots of people that
wow.
went to school with him and know him.
Oh wow. Chris, I know you know this kind of weird stuff. What was the name of the Micron that came with Armada Unicron?
Dead End.
Was that Dead End?
Yeah, Dead End.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I knew
So-
something.
At one point in the development, they wanted to call it Gobatron, but legal kind of talked them down from that.
My brain remembered something.
Always a good start.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't remember
I kept
anything. I don't
thinking
remember
in
my
my
kid's
head it
middle
was.
name.
I kept thinking in my head it was Kranix, but Kranix is the name of the.
One of the redecos, I think.
Well,
Yeah, I think
or
the Amazon
reissue or
Unicron
something.
was Kranix.
Oh, it was. Okay. Because I know Kranix is the name of the little dude that's going to be in the Quintezon.
John, I am sending you the link. I guess you don't have it.
Tell the show to let me in. Okay, great.
I think I saw someone have a photo where they're using retail Alcons and the Quintesson Judge with that Unicron minicon, but it was the redeco version. So like they were making their own Pit of Judgment scene with the Kranix they had on hand, which was that dead end redeco.
Because if we talk about that thing that was going around in the email,
Oh yeah, we need to. I need to look at Patreon too.
that's
Thing that was
kinda-
going around in the email.
Hey, and if you're a
That's
patron and you
ideal.
haven't chimed in on the patron post where it says chime in,
Oh.
please do so.
Ah, yes.
I forgot about that.
yeah, that was kind of what was making me ask.
You know,
I forgot about that.
the album art this week, I have no idea why I did that, but I was just thinking of Gauguin, and I wanted to do that.
Let's see. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, that's a thing.
Yeah, I know. Literally did not have a good reason. No, we've gotten some good responses.
Good.
Oh, good. Did we get any responses to that one episode of Star Trek?
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Haven't looked. I need to.
So is the gimmick for the Reborn show doing good episodes of Star Trek then?
I don't know if we thought that far ahead.
I do.
I will say,
You,
though,
you've got two in a row. So
yeah, I will say, what I'm doing right now is my second podcast recording today and my third in about 24 hours. So, interpret that as you like. Jared, we don't need the hashtag. It's on the Patreon now.
Yeah, that one episode of Star Trek is back. And if you're not a patron, it'll be available next weekend.
The first episode will go public on the 14th.
Yeah.
And I'll take care of posting that to the regular website.
Wow.
No need to be sorry. Just
You don't have to
enjoy.
apologize. Yeah.
Don't apologize. Listen to the episode, then you'll expect me to apologize.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
thanks,
just happy
Peter.
you're here. Please.
You get to be mentioned in the
well,
show.
you did bring Ken back. You probably should apologize for that.
Don is on location.
We have two Robs.
He's waiting for Toy Fair.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I accidentally did not change tabs before going to a different address. So
Oops. That's interesting.
that's going to take some getting used to.
Can we hang up on the one, Rob? Oh no, we can't.
Well, Brian might be able to.
Let's see.
Yeah, this will be an interesting experiment.
Which one are
We'll get rid of both of them.
The old one, presumably.
Okay, that's one.
The one that
Got
didn't
it
just
up
talk.
on the top
Yeah.
of the screen.
Yeah, just talk. Okay.
Yeah.
The other weird thing about this is like I was sitting at my computer for a while and I just I forgot that we don't get calls anymore. So I was like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah, we have to call in.
Yeah. Which means Brian actually has to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes, otherwise you just sit there for 20 minutes like I did
Sorry.
last week.
I was in my car
Yeah, no, so,
when I saw
like-
that you were on. I actually went back home to add you.
In
That's very correct of
situations-
you, but I'd given up by that point.
In situations where it ends up I have to be like hosting the show, we probably need to have a call form around me so I can be able to add people.
Yeah, I use Microsoft Teams for work. I like Teams, but I don't think it was perfect for us. This just happens to be really great for low bandwidth users, which is like half of folks.
Yeah.
Except when Don was lagging, but
Yeah,
that
the only
didn't-
problem we're really having is lag on Don's end after a certain point, but like we have a strong theory about why that is, and we're exploring mitigation strategies.
Yeah, Don buy a
Yeah.
new computer.
That would be
Plus,
the
like-
ideal thing, but there's other things we can do in the meantime to try to minimize the impact.
And as far as Microsoft Teams, it's just the same thing as Skype. So
Well, I mean, the technology actually, I think it is different.
you think so?
I think so.
it's just Skype with a different overlay.
It's probably not in terms of bandwidth use, it's probably not that much better.
So Skype is what's the term? It's the nodes. It's what was Napster? How did Napster work? What was it? The term
Apps,
Oh,
peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
Skype is a peer-to-peer process. You're sharing bandwidth with people. I don't know how Teams works.
there's a phrase I haven't thought about in several hundred years.
Yeah, no.
but peer-to-peer is actually
It's no, okay, Manny Kara is saying it was peer-to-peer.
peer-to-peer. That was just a legal way to get around some stuff that ended up not happening.
No, I think it was a way to accelerate the downloading and sharing of files. I think was the value of it.
Well, that too, but there was a lot of. They were hoping to skate around
By
the
decentralizing where the files are, it would
Yeah, that way
sidestep
you
some
didn't
of
have
the
to have one person with the file. Becoming a Patreon is my
Massey
pleasure. The only
using
thing I want is return
per
is how
software.
Canadians
I
get
like
to put us
that.
on pit. Pull shipping is expensive. Please find out for me, Chris. Toy Detective.
Yeah, that's a good question. And probably pulse shipping to Canada is the only option for that. Because PulseCon, spoilers, is going to be streamed to the US and Canada only. So I think they're expecting that Canadians will be covered by Hasbro Pulse for the exclusives.
just like Unicron was.
Now, it's not to say that that set won't become available in other places where you might be able to, do a little bit better if it ends up being available through Southeast Asia again. That would maybe be a possibility.
Oh, it will be because I already pre-ordered it on Taobao.
Fair enough.
So yeah, it's definitely because I'm pretty sure I am shopping from an official Transformers store.
Hasbro does have an official storefront on Taobao, so
Yeah,
there's a very good
Matt?
chance. Evidently.
we lost him.
His internet probably dropped. You know how it is.
So were the exclusives going to be available at the PulseCon, or that's undetermined?
I mean, it's undetermined, but likely.
I have to check the date.
I know I thought the release like specifically mentioned that they would be up for order, Pit of Judgment, and all those things.
So it's going to be a Friday and a Saturday.
Probably.
So I'm going to miss.
Yeah, if I were to
half of
guess, I would say the Friday will probably be limited to Pulse Premium subscribers, quote unquote subscribers.
So they'll have 50
and then maybe
available
Saturday
for
is what's
those
left
Pulse
for.
Premium people.
Of course, we've seen how well that's worked in the past with
That's what
other
I'm saying.
SDCC exclusives. Yeah.
We'll have 50 available for the Pulse Premium. They'll go in a minute.
Again, I'm really hopeful that because there's not an actual SDCC and all the inventory is being directed to online sales, we're not going to run into quite the same problem we would typically expect of an in-demand exclusive.
Here's hoping.
You would hope, but I mean,
well, I hope a lot of things, and I'm not confident about a lot of them. So
yeah, the production run could have shrunk due to the fact that I'm assuming at one point the factories were closed, so they have to make up that time somewhere. The time they lost. So I'm assuming that some of the production runs may have got shrunk or pushed back.
seems like
Well, it would. I don't imagine that the production run of that set got reduced, because up to some point they would have still been expecting the possibility of going to San Diego with that stuff. So they would have wanted a normal quantity. And by the time they were sure that wasn't going to happen, or by the time they decided internally that they didn't want to take part in San Diego if it did happen, it probably would have been too late to go to the factory and say, okay, only make half of these.
I hope you're right.
Me too.
But I just feel like something got messed up this year.
well,
A lot of
everything
things
else
got messed
did,
up this
so.
year. Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to try and get the pit. It's a decent sized chunk of money, and I made the mistake of counting. I counted.
Yeah, well. Several of us have the retail quintessence, so you can hear thoughts on that and use that to also make an assessment.
Yeah.
Because ultimately what you're getting with that pit is like a nice piece of cardboard and like 3 exclusive minifigures, 2?
Mm-hmm. And a slight remold of the Alicon. So.
Which I still refuse to believe is not going to be sold in another format on its own.
Yeah, that's like begging to be a selects release somewhere down the line.
Yes,
I wonder
perhaps
if
that's next Tuesday.
Oh, geez, yeah.
We'll talk about that later, though.
Well, we should have been talking
Thunderstorm.
about all of this later too, but we're not. So
Oh well.
it's a
That's
free
right.
for all.
It's content for our Patreons.
It's a free for all because Brian's too tired to put a stop to it.
Yep.
Yeah,
play
I
this
don't think
game.
we'll ever get a Kranix any other way, unless a third party gives us a Kranix. So.
Or Red Collection.
Yeah.
yeah,
if,
you're right.
If Red Collection ever comes out.
Or
Yeah.
if Red Collection gets past like wave 3 or 4, like most things that are not transforming.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Brian
looking-
left his 5-hour energy at his old house.
That's true. I was going to do a Sheets run. I just didn't have time.
Oh.
Brian killed bots. He didn't buy enough.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bobot's
Brian.
dead.
I would assume. We haven't heard
They're still showing up on the shelves.
But
where
not
at Target
new.
only.
I mean, 5th series. Hey, so I'm looking at, for the history on the 5s, the notes for that. And it's not applicable for this year because it's not from 93. But I didn't realize that September 11th, 1993 was the day that All Toys Transformers was formed. Wow.
Yeah, Blade Runner. And if they do it as select, I think that one would be actually decoed like it appeared on the the show, as opposed to what's in the set, which is based on a fan-colored character sheet. Which is also like the first Google image result, so that could have something to do with it too. But you know how this works.
Yeah, the fan-colored character sheets really kind of have been causing havoc lately.
I wouldn't rule out a selects of it.
No,
I just don't think it would be like next Tuesday because there's
probably not.
Yeah.
No, I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
No, not a bad one.
I was using it as an example and also just kind of making fun of it in that, like, boy, that'd be like the most underwhelming way to wrap up Transformers Tuesdays.
Ooh, that's a good point. Do you think they're saving the best for last?
I mean, that's probably their theory. Now, whether we, the fandom in general, agree with their assessment of that is a very different question.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, they'd have to do something kind of special to top Spin Out and Corden as a selects.
Yeah, that was showing their hand right there. That was.
Yeah, so like I can think of a couple things immediately that for me personally would beat that to have for a final reveal.
We'll have to save it for the show. You're right. We're getting way.
Yeah,
too
I'm not gonna reveal it now.
Yeah,
and it's almost showtime anyway.
Because I have a bunch of things I'm thinking in my head too.
I only have
and I'm
one, and that's because I want to buy the G1 toy. And knowing my luck, should I buy the toy during the show?
Yes.
Absolutely, it's part of the drinking game, Brian. You have to buy something.
I mean, you need something to set up in that new house.
That's true.
Yeah, you need something to take up all that room you have now.
God, the basement's huge.
Because let's face it, the whole reason you bought a new house is because you needed more room for more stuff.
Part of it.
Well, his office wasn't
Also,
big,
because
so.
Also, because the size of his family more than doubled.
Yeah. Not
I
by
mean,
volume,
his room
but
is
by
so
quantity.
small.
I'm sure that had
He
some
hit
small part
Chris
to
in the
play.
back of the head with a stool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, more space in the office could definitely have reduced the chances of that happening. I was just thinking about that yesterday, actually.
Oh, that was a great moment in RC history.
Sometimes I just like reach back and feel the little dent in my head and just remember that weekend.
Or you reach back and feel the dent in your head and go, "How the hell did this happen?"
Is it just me, or is there still a little bit of a lag sometimes? Like, I feel like
I've noticed it on
we're
your
not
end.
syncing.
Sometimes.
Yeah, every
What's
once in a
that?
while.
I've noticed you speaking over Chris a couple of times.
Well, I've noticed.
And I
you,
noticed
like,
Diecast speaking over you at least once.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I've noticed when I'm watching Brian's video, like his mouth will start moving before the audio comes out.
Huh?
It could just be because Diecast is rude.
No,
Oh, that too.
I don't know.
need to
It
buy
seems
this.
laggy to me. Like even Brian, and he should have
Yeah,
no lag.
in which case, most likely the problem is you. Like, I've been noticing that it seems like there's lag on and off, but I have not been able to determine who's at fault with that. But the signs are now pointing to maybe it's you.
Hey,
I don't
Internet's
notice
fucking
lag.
fast.
I don't notice lag, but that's just because I can't stay connected to the internet long enough.
Okay. We good to go?
Sure.
Theoretically,
I guess we're as good as we're going to get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you want to wait for John to come back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm back.
give John a second. Are you back?
There we go.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay. We'll see. Okay. 3, 2, 1. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 690. I'm Brian Kilby. It's the first time I've been back in 2 weeks?
Why are you so echoey?
I'm in a new house and there's literally nothing in this room but me and podcasting equipment and a desk. But that's podcasting equipment.
So I didn't host 2 weeks in a row though, did I? I hosted 1 week, then you were back, then I hosted the week after that.
Oh, I thought you did 2 in a row.
I think so.
Okay. Well, last week, oh God, buying a house sucks. It turns out that my lender supposedly didn't send a form for me to sign. And my realtor was freaking out about it, which in turn made Kim freak out about it, which in turn made me freak out about it. And all this happened right before literally, as I think I called Chris to start pre-show. Turned out it was a nothing burger. It was nothing. This was the day before closing. So, hey, so that's good. No radon. Radon's an acceptable level. So I'm not going to get superpowers or hopefully lung cancer. But I'm tired. I still have my entire collection. I have not even started moving that. That is all at the other house. Every single item. Yeah. So, yeah. Funny. But,
You're going to need a bigger boat.
The room I'm in will be she'll be 4 here next week, a week from today. This will be her room. Right now she's sharing it with the baby until we get the basement finished. God, I want the basement finished so bad. So what I'm going to do until we finish it, I'm literally walling off one room. I'm getting a tarp and I'm literally tarping off a section of the basement where I'm putting my collection so that people or cats don't get into it. Yeah. And it'll be like an excavation here months later, going in and seeing what I have. I should do videos. And it'll all be new to me at that point. And a lot of it is new to me since I haven't really touched a lot of it. A lot of it's just stayed in boxes as I picked them up. Yeah. But, yeah. So, with me, hey, we got Chris, Diecast, John, Matt, and Rob. Don is celebrating his girlfriend's B-Hay today. B-Hay, that's what he put in the text. I guess he meant B-Day. Her birthday.
I would assume.
But it's the B-Hay.
I don't know what you guys do in the Carolinas, so I don't
He's
know.
in Virginia.
Same thing, says the
Yeah.
Texan.
Yeah. Man, I'm tired. Literally, I don't know what it has to. I don't know why I'm hoarse. But ever since the move, I've been hoarse. I don't know if it's different air. Just being tired.
It's that radon.
The radon. So.
You're going to express your mutant powers soon. That's what it means.
Yeah, that would be fun. So, man, a lot of stuff has happened in the last week. It's pretty crazy. I can't wait to actually to catch up on it. I actually, for our patrons at patreon.com/tfradio, we love you, by the way. I didn't get one of the news items posted for a couple days because I literally didn't have access to a computer for 3 straight days. And it wasn't that bad. Of course, now, I shouldn't do this during the show, but I'm going to. I'm going to show off. Give a little speed test. See what it looks like. It's probably going to fail.
And then everything caught on fire.
Everything caught on fire. So my download's a little better than it was. Right now it's going at about 800, 900. I'm only showing off literally the only reason I care is for the podcast.
Oh,
don't
I
care
know
about
what the problem is. His internet is so fast that we're actually getting what he's saying before
I
he's
say it.
saying it.
Yeah. But hopefully this means less stuttering, less issues getting video uploaded. So 560 up for right now, which normally before it was 40 up. So hopefully our video streaming will be better. And hopefully less crashing, yeah. So pretty excited about that. So the move's not all bad.
Just mostly.
Man. So let's go ahead and talk about what we got this week, and I'll speak for Don. Don was expecting Earthrise RC.
Oh,
Poor guy. He opened up his package from
Just a
Amazon.
couple days late.
No, it was Cyberverse RC, which he already has.
2 of.
Yeah, which here's a bit of advice. If the description of the item on Amazon says one thing, and you buy it because the picture it shows that it's something else, it's almost certain that the picture is wrong. If everything on that product page says it's a duck, but the picture shows it's a cow, you're getting a duck.
But might I get a duck that has like cow spots, because that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
That's like the same thing as dating apps.
Yeah. There's
Okay, not going there.
No, XV, what you'll get is a Cyberverse RC.
No, I have one of those.
yeah.
Not a cow or a duck. Oh, you get another one. Yeah, a troop builder.
I mean, I could just, like, if I want to do that, I'd just go on like Hasbro Toy Shop, because they got them up there for free shipping too.
Chris, why don't you go first?
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about the thing that several of us have at this point, I think, which is the Earthrise Quintesson Judge.
You like it?
It's very good at being a floating egg with 5 faces on it.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly what it needs to be.
Yeah, no, I'm not phrasing it that way to like backhandedly complain about it. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. For $30, it's falling off of its chair.
It always
might
falls
be
off its chair.
Yeah, I think I kind of overestimated the strength of that, and I think I lost the little gun that I had on the.
Oh, the
handle
gun is.
too.
I've dropped the gun several times.
I'm sure I can find that later if I remember to look for it. Not the worst thing if I lose that. No, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's even got the little action gimmick with the lever on the back, so you can cycle through the faces. I feel like
I missed that.
I feel like the mechanics on this are a little bit too aggressive, because like it's really easy to just like skip past a face or two unless you do it really slow and careful, which is not exactly conducive to how it's designed. Like it's something where it feels like you want to go full force on it and make it spin around like that, which I mean is cool and funny, but if you just like want to gradually cycle through the faces, it's a little bit trickier to do that. I also find, like, you know, there's this nice hollow cavity in here, so you can probably like put a candle in that or something. I wouldn't actually recommend doing that, but you know. And like the base mode, I haven't messed with that too much, but like I kind of like the concept of that, the Quintesson being able to turn into its own jail, at least for, you know, Battlemaster size things. It's a neat extra, and I guess kind of a novel way of solving the problem of what do you make a Quintesson transform into, since everything has to transform somehow or other, unless you're Alpha Quintesson from Energon, in which case you just kind of sit there and do nothing and don't even have 5 faces. That was such a bad everything. And even though it doesn't peg, I didn't lose the gun. I had the gun on the bottom of the chair where it stores. Go me. So even though the Quintesson doesn't like tab super securely in the chair, I kind of like the chair. I like that as a thing. Like it's got the little energy beam to float on if you just want to have it sitting on a tabletop or something. But you can also just have it floating on its beam in a chair, which amuses me to no end. Unfortunately, this uses a specific proprietary connection, so there is no way to use this as like a blast effect on anything else. But it's interesting because it's got this like mechanical fastener in it, so there's a little lever on the end that you pull down to release the tension on it to plug it in or out. So
Which
it
doesn't
holds.
matter.
Well, it holds in there really securely, and I wouldn't try to yank this out without using the lever.
Really?
'Cause
Because
you'll-
mine's fallen off a couple times.
Well, I guess you got a bad one because mine, like, the brain case falls out before the thing falls off of the energy effect. Maybe you don't have yours clipped in all the way.
I mean, I guess it holds it all right.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't try to pull that out without using the little catch on the base of it, though, because you'll probably end up stressing or breaking those tabs in there, and then it won't hold on very well.
I think I dropped it and it kind of fell apart. So
Well, I mean, I dropped this a minute ago and it didn't fall apart, so like I still posit that you might have a bad one. But yeah, I mean, for $30, it might be a little bit much, but I know a lot of people were able to get in on Target's pricing error and buy one get one half off sale early this year.
Oh, I should have done that.
I did, so I actually have another one of these coming on Friday. And then, you know, if the Quintesson Pit of Judgment pans out, I'll get that, and I'll have 3 Quintessons, which I think is enough for, you know, my biomechanical legal system needs.
That is the correct amount of quintessons to have. Yes.
I mean, either 3 or 5.
I want 5.
If
3 is the correct minimum amount to have.
Yeah, and when I troop build stuff, I usually, like, 3 will be my default. Now, sometimes I go higher than that, but 3 is usually where I feel like, okay, this represents, you know, an adequate number of them. And if I want to do, like, photography stuff, it's enough where I can kind of use trick angles and sometimes compositing to fill out a bigger group if I need that effect. You know, if you only have 1 or 2, that suddenly becomes a lot more labor. To go with my Quintesson, I have the Deluxe Alicon.
What?
how do you like it since you're probably the only person that has that?
Yeah, I think I'm the only one of the group that has this so far. So everything it looks like from the pictures is true in real life. So like it's totally just the robot kind of crouching with an alligator head. And it looks more like some weird kind of goblin thing than an alligator robot thing.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it could be worse.
It can
But
be
like
Earthrise RC.
but at the same time it's no like Legends Sharkticon.
But what is?
That's true, but like it's not unreasonable to hope for something to live up to that level. You know, especially being a deluxe versus a Legends class. The robot mode is, you know, chunky, blocky. It's okay. The posability's fine. It's not like a thrilling figure to have, but it does its job well enough. The main problem I have, two problems. I don't like how the robot legs work in the alt mode where you just kind of have it crouching. Or if you go strictly by the instructions, you have it more standing upright with the knees bent, and then it looks even more dumb. The other thing I don't like, and this is something that we identified from the pictures very early on, is the alternate mode arms that are just riveted onto the robot forearms, and all you can really do with them in robot mode is flip them back out of the way, but they're still there in plain sight. It's really non-ideal, and it's a case where rather than riveting them on, I wish they would have just been on like a 5mm peg or something. Like, give me the option to remove them, you know, for aesthetic purposes. For something like this, I'll take the compromise. It's not like, you know, taking a third or more of RC off of the robot to streamline its proportions. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. I have 2 more on pre-order that I'm not canceling, so I am not particularly down on it. And if the bailiff retool becomes available outside of that pit set, I'll probably get some of them too because they're unique enough. So it's more simple than I'd like, but it does its job pretty well, and the deco's good on it, and all the joints on this one feel really nice. So like, this could be a way worse experience, and at most it's just kind of feeling average, I guess. So, you know, take that as you will. in the long run. What else did I get? So this isn't like a new thing, but it's new to me, and so there's going to be a small story with this and presentation. I got ConstructBot Soundwave. Now, for anybody who's too young with us to remember what ConstructBots were, around 2013, 2014, Hasbro decided to basically make Transformers Bionicle. So ConstructBots was a line of construction toys, basically, of frame parts and weapon accessories and different things like that, vehicle mode chunks. For the most part, there was not a lot of different part variation in this. Like, mostly, a lot of stuff shared vehicle mode parts, so mostly the unique parts were just the robot heads. Now, the reason I bought ConstructBot Soundwave, I got it pretty cheap off of eBay. The reason I bought that was because Soundwave has these parts in dark blue. So this is like a jet engine from the aircraft alt mode it has. And the reason I wanted that was because it's actually a very close match to Rotor Storm. And if you peg those on, you have something that looks a little bit more like G1 Rotor Storm with the Turbomaster engines.
Oh,
Very clever.
awesome.
Nice.
I can't take credit for this idea. Somebody on Japanese Twitter posted pictures of this, and unfortunately, I don't remember the username for that at the moment. I probably have that in my favorites. I will try to retweet that again after the show, so follow me at ChrisRTXV on Twitter if you're interested in finding out the original source. Now, in the case that you don't like how these look on here, and the blue is not a perfect match. The ConstructBot Soundwave blue is slightly more purple than what's on Rotor Storm, but just like visually in hand under normal lighting, it's absolutely close enough. But if you don't quite like how these look on here, and of course, since it's 5mm pegged, you can't hold these as guns in robot mode. The Soundwave ConstructBot also comes with these smaller, also kind of jet rocket engine things, which you can attach in much the same way, and these end up looking a little bit more proportional. So you can have those attached like that, and also have something kind of Turbomaster-like on there. So I invested in the ConstructBot Soundwave to dress up my Generation Selects Rotor Storm a little bit, and now it's that much closer to being perfect.
Nice.
Rotor Storm is one of my favorite G1 toys, so the idea that you can take that Soundwave part, which I have that Soundwave somewhere, and repurpose it.
So, like, the colors vary, but there was an Optimus versus Megatron. Really, like the biggest set in the initial offering of ConstructBots was Optimus versus Megatron. It was 2 complete ConstructBot kits in one like cardboard sleeve, and in that you got basically every kind of common part there was, plus one or more of every weapon accessory. Not in this color specifically, but like probably if you have a couple ConstructBots, you have a version of this part in some color. So if you're not too particular, or you are like willing to do some painting to get it exactly right, you know, you can probably salvage from something you already have. And if not, these are not expensive on eBay, especially if you get a loose one. I alluded on Twitter probably 10 or 12 days ago now that I had bought something really stupid on an odd whim, and that was that. But like, I'm really happy with how this has turned out, and I wasn't even expecting to get the secondary jet engine option with those smaller gray pieces. That was just something I noticed when I took Soundwave out of the shipping box and saw how the wings were constructed. So nice little bonus there, and one or the other set of these parts is going to be permanently living on Rotor Storm. I might look into if I can figure out a way to adapt an appropriately sized peg or socket onto one of these so I can use blast effects. There's no way to interface those right now. But, you know, that'll be something for a little further down the line. Like, a 5mm socket or something probably wouldn't be too hard to fit into either end of this and not have it look terrible, and then you could have explosions and beam effects and stuff. So I think it'd be worthwhile. And well, I bought a $7 or $8 reflector from Ross the other day when I needed some retail therapy, but that's not really worth talking about. And I think that's all I got this week.
Cool. Matt, you got anything?
Oh, I got so many things. I'll go through them fairly quickly, though. I got some Marvel Legends stuff. I got the Black Costume Storm that I needed to finish my Jim Lee X-Men. And I got the Classics package in Gray Beast because he has the head sculpt that I really wish the blue one would have come with. But, let's see. Put those down. And I got the Kingpin, who comes on a giant blister card.
Oh, nice.
Because that Build-A-Figure is ridiculous on the secondary market, and he came in a wave of absolute crap figures that I did not want.
I got that whole wave just for Kingpin.
Yeah, I was not willing to sink that cost in, no matter how badly I wanted that Kingpin. As far as Power Ranger stuff goes, I got Zordon and Alpha.
Oh, nice.
And Zordon lights up. He's very, very nice.
That looks a lot better with the light on.
It's not as bad as the photos made it out.
Yeah, it just looks better in person, period.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, like it seems like what they did with that, they it's either metallic plastic or metallic paint over the molded face sculpt, and when it actually catches like normal light, it looks more like the distorted way Zordon looked in the show. It's definitely not something that comes across in photos, unfortunately.
Yeah. I got the Lord Draken figure when they did the second run of this. I skipped it the first time because it's Tommy and I didn't care, but then the FOMO got me. And then they announced Draken version 3, and I was like, you know what, screw it. Screw it. I don't want this Draken anymore. And then it shipped before I could cancel it.
Oops.
Of course.
Of course. And I also found the new Power Morpher.
Nice.
Walmart. Very nice. Sadly, it does not have an off button. So I don't know what Hasbro was thinking there. So, I mean, you might want to take your batteries out.
Didn't I observe that the Lightning Collection Dragon Dagger also doesn't have an off?
Now that you mention it, I think you did, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Hasbro, new learning for you. Off switch.
Buttons, yes. But it comes with various sounds, like the sounds and the color of the lights change out depending on which power coin you put in.
Oh, neat.
So, moving on to Transformers, I got Snapdragon last week, and I like him better than pretty much everybody else seems to. His dragon, air quotes, dragon mode is absolutely the worst of the three modes.
Agree.
The jet is fine. The robot is fine. The dragon is very much the jet turned upside down with his thrusters turned into legs. Like, and I totally get what you were talking about, Chris. Like, it does not feel like you're doing a whole lot going from mode to mode.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a Voyager.
Yeah, and I mean he's pretty wide at the hips and very narrow at the shoulders, which just kind of an odd visual there when you look at it from certain angles. But
Very T-Rex-ish from here.
Yeah, but like I said, the robot mode is good, and the jet mode is good, and the dragon mode is acceptable for a jet turned upside down, standing on thrust. And I got Scorponok.
Nice.
Scorponok is glorious and really heavy, like way heavier than I thought. And I actually really like the Zarek component, the Mega Zarek component, the head.
Yeah.
That does not transform the way you would think it does.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some involved steps there that just surprised the crap out of me when I took them out of the box. I really like this thing. And one more thing. Granted, I was actually having a pretty bad day today. Just feeling down, but luckily Skylinks arrived to save my day.
Oh, lovely.
Excellent.
And he is excellent. Just the bird mode is, a shuttle standing on chicken legs. Okay. What did you expect? But I mean, when you put all the pieces together, he is big. He has a decent amount of weight to him. Really poseable, just absolutely glorious. The only way this thing would be better is if he had a sound chip so he could tell you how awesome he is himself.
Well, if it was 2008,
yeah. And that's one. I did forget a Power Ranger. I found the Dino Charge White Ranger from Walgreens, and boy, is he missing a lot of paint. Like,
it's fix that.
Of course, I'm going to fix that. Like, you think I can let that stand? Look at that helmet. That's Jesus. And he is also missing some paint details below his knees on his legs. They cut the black off. There's none of the black trim on his sword, and which I was totally expecting. His Morpher has no paint on it at all.
Oh, gee.
The head sculpt is acceptable as far as Lightning Collection figures go. There are definitely worse ones, but there are definitely better ones. But again, Dino Thunder, like 15 years ago by now, so or more.
Shut up. I don't want to put ideas in their head, especially along this line, but I really have to wonder if they could, push the price point to $25 and actually restore some of that paint that they're having to cut.
Well, look at what they're doing with Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends have been sliding up to 25, and I think the Star Wars figures have been starting to slide up there too.
I honestly don't pay attention to any of those lines, so I don't have a frame of reference for that.
That's why I figured I'd.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
But that is finally all I got this week.
Cool. Diecast, what'd you get?
Oh, I got the same thing that Chris got in the Quintesson Judge. Again, mine is a little loose at the connector, I think. The only thing that I wanted to mention about the Quintesson Judge is the chair. They made the one peg that the Quintesson Judge is supposed to tab onto, and they made it. They obviously knew it was too long because the other peg on here is a lot longer. So they shortened this peg, but they didn't shorten it enough. And that's why it's falling off, is because it doesn't still sit flush. There's a small gap in between.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
The chair and the stand.
Time for some sanding then?
You either got to sand it or just live with it.
You can live with it.
Other than that, I really like him. And the other thing that I didn't hear Chris mention is the faces. Some of the faces you can actually move.
Oh yeah,
the mouse if you want to.
3 of them, I think.
Yeah. And
Nice.
This is the most important one to me. So
Death.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's perfectly awesome for $30. I was happy to get this. And then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I do really need 3 of these. And
You were guilty of needing 3 of them.
I am guilty, and I'm also guilty of ordering, at least 3 Alicons. So, that's going to be a thing.
I kind of wish this face had a movable mouth.
Yeah. I'm surprised it doesn't.
That's the one that seems like it needs to be just all jolly and chatting.
Yeah.
Is that the one that has a celebratory chuckle?
I honestly can't remember. I need to rewatch Five Faces of Darkness.
And then
what I watched
Watch
any
Five
G1 in a
Faces
long
of
time.
Darkness.
Yeah. And then what I also got, Matt got the Power Ranger Morpher. I was kind of disappointed it doesn't do the Power Ranger theme song. I totally thought it would do that, and I was like trying to figure out a way. I'm like, where's the option for the Power Ranger theme song? And it's just not there. So this, kind of is perfectly acceptable for me to keep the Bandai one, because the Bandai one has it. This feels more like a toy than
Yeah, the Bandai one is also made of metal.
Yeah. Yeah,
and has an off switch.
The paint on this is not perfect. I think, it's the Bandai one is definitely better for a display piece.
Yeah, you see how my paint looks better than that diecast? That's because I fixed it.
Oh, you fixed it?
Yes, Gundam markers.
Yeah, it needs Gundam markers, especially around the black right there. I'm sure that's what you fixed, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's pretty bad in some spots. So
I also see that you have the Tyrannosaurus coin. That's good because the Mastodon is my trademark. So
okay, yeah. I mean, I the voices are all pretty good too. Like they did use the original show clips.
Yeah.
For each coin.
Unfortunately, the quality's not great from what I've heard, and the Austin St. John voice clip sounds disturbingly like Steve Cardenas.
Yeah, some of them sound better. Like the Tyrannosaurus one, I when I first played it, I could not instantly recognize it from the show. But the Yellow Ranger one, that was definitely a little bit better done, or just translated better. I don't know, to whatever, recording format it went to.
Yeah.
But they're also not entirely screen accurate because the background is not supposed to change color. It's just supposed to stay red.
Yeah.
But I actually like the fact that it changes the color with the coin. It's just a, added bonus to me.
I like the fact that and the Legacy one technically coexist. Like the Legacy one you have to get on the secondary market, but like there's two very different approaches to this collector grade Power Morpher. Each one is doing something pretty different, so if you don't like this one, you can try to go for the other one. Like, and what Diecast is saying about the Hasbro one feeling more like a toy feels very consistent with my findings with the Dragon Daggers.
The real quick, the one upside that this one has over the Bandai that I've noticed is the Bandai one has like a screw hole right here that has always just bugged the crap out of me. This one escapes that.
I don't have either of those. If I was going to pick one version to get, I'd probably hunt down a Legacy Power Morpher, because I think that's just more consistent with what I would want out of that kind of product.
I did go a little hunting crazy this weekend. I went to a number of Targets looking for those Star Wars Target exclusives, the Galaxy's Edge. And I did find some of those. I don't have them down here to show off, but I found like the Red Trooper with the cape, and they were maybe because they were exclusives, I'm not sure, but they were $25 a piece from Target. And there was one I couldn't find. There was a Mountain Trooper, I think it's called, and I could not find him for the life of me. The other thing I got in the mail, which kind of got crushed because, how Amazon ships these types of boxes, is I got the exclusive G.I. Joe. What is he called? Storm Shadow.
Arctic Mission.
So, Arctic Storm Shadow, So, I got him too. Now, if only I could find those Target exclusive Cobra Troopers and Baroness, I'd be good. Yeah, how do you like it out of package? I didn't take it out of the package.
I don't really care for them.
Yeah.
No, they're boring. Not all of them. He is.
Did you find any Cobra Troopers yet?
Hell no.
Yeah. So, it looks like we'll probably just have to wait for them to get a regular release and not a Target release. I think they're going to modify it and re-release it in a regular wave. So,
it's possible too. Do you remember with Marvel Legends they did on Hasbro Pulse 2 packs of the AIM soldiers? at a little bit lower price. Like they could do something like that too with Cobra troop builders.
I wouldn't be
I
surprised
don't know
to see
if
that
they're-
pop up at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to, but they absolutely should. But yeah, that's all I got this week. Everything else says it's supposed to be here tomorrow, but it didn't ship yet. So
Yeah, I know how that
have my
feels.
doubts.
John?
Nothing different from everybody else, so I will pass.
Rob?
Nothing. But speaking of showing up tomorrow, I finally just got shipping notice on my Skylinks. So
Woohoo!
Oh, good. I'm glad.
yeah,
He's
Now,
really
if
If
nice.
only I
Enjoy
could
that.
get a shipping notice on my Netflix
yeah. Seriously,
Wave 1 figures.
I hope I think I only pre-ordered Soundwave out of those. I hope it doesn't disappear into the ether.
Well, Soundwave is Wave 2, right?
Yeah, I mean that's not out yet, but just with it, I hope that them just never getting shipped is not establishing a pattern here,
Well,
especially after the big thing they went through for those Wave 2 pre-orders. But
if you want to see why I, went nuts this weekend and went looking for stuff at Walmart, like the Power Ranger stuff, that's because who knows if they're ever going to ship, even though I have a pre-order.
Yeah.
So like with Walmart, you might as well get it in the store if you can find it, and then just cancel your online pre-order because you don't know with them.
So anybody who's not watching the show live, I love the fact that Brian has become so bored he's just sword fighting with his He-Man and Storm Shadow in his video frame.
So,
Look, you gotta
Who
do what
won?
you gotta do to stay awake.
He-Man won. So
Well, of course, he has the power.
Yeah, I found all the Masters of the Universe Origins figures except for Skeletor, Orko, and the Sky Sled. So
My Walmart literally has 23 Skeletors.
okay,
I
And
think I'm going to
nothing
continue
else?
just to look.
No, please take some of our Skeletors.
How much do you think shipping would be? As we lost
$8. Whatever
much?
basic priority mail is. Basic priority mail, $8 ish.
What about for 2?
Probably 10.
Okay, I'll PayPal you.
Okay.
So, I want to actually talk about the Masters Universe Origins figures because they're not exactly what I was thinking. I was literally thinking they would be old school Masters Universe, similar plastic. I know times have changed and cost and everything has changed, but I was expecting it to be that sort of shiny, slick, weird, non-action figure-y plastic, and literally just basically be the same design, but with joints. And no, they're really modern action figures. It's a modern action figure. It just
Are they the same size as the
funky
originals?
looking design. What, Rob?
Are they the same size as the originals?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I like it. I like that it looks vintage, sort of. But it is in almost every way a modern figure with joints and articulation. So it's kind of cool. I also got the Quintesson Judge. I need more. It doesn't need to transform. It just needs to be evil.
Yes.
Yeah. I, unlike everybody else, I did get the Earthrise Earthrise Megatron. If I put it beside of the Siege figure, you can tell a difference. But you take away the one accessory and you randomize it and you put it in front of me, I don't think I could tell you the difference. But side by side, it looks better. It looks more like G1 Megatron.
Interesting.
But otherwise, you don't need it.
Well, I'll
Something
be
else-
getting it with G2 paint, so that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, and that's acceptable.
Now, something else I just got today, and I didn't know what to think. I've really been fiddling with it during the show to get a feel for it, and I didn't think it was going to be as bad as people said, but it really is. Earthrise RC is pretty horrible.
Oh, wow, that looks worse in hand.
It does, doesn't it?
That's so sad.
So
Especially
yes,
from that slightly top-down angle.
yeah,
That's just a stick figure on a big block of plastic.
it really is.
It's never not going to bug me that they not only did the extensive backpacking but also did Bandai paint. That's like insult to injury.
But the thing is, with it being a backpack, they could have at least made it the best damn backpack Transformer ever. But it's not. It's panely. The transformation is inelegant and not directly intuitive. So it has this deal here. So the back of the car tabs into the hood. To transform it, you pop that back, then you rotate it around this piece here. And that piece has I don't know how you describe it. It's what would that? It's like a peg that's embedded into a ring that you can push up or pull up or push down to fit it into place.
So a slider, are you saying?
A slider. That makes sense. So the panels are really thin, and I'm afraid I'm going to break it. So it's like they could have made it a little thicker.
Well, they could have made RC a little thicker too.
Yeah.
I think it's finally time to just give up and retire that RC design altogether and come up with something new.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. And on the subject of breaking things, I forgot I wanted to mention with the Alicon's little dinky gator arms. The first time you move them, you want to get by the base where the rivet is and move from there. Because both of these arms were slightly fused in place, and this is bendy plastic, so if you try to crank on a little too hard from the end, you could twist or otherwise potentially damage it. It probably would be fine, but take a moment of care and just make sure it's going to be okay, because it seems to move perfectly freely after that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, quick question on that, on RC.
Yeah.
Is Generations RC already too expensive to just re-release?
Yeah.
I would want to say yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
massive.
things like this, I would be like,
I believe
things like this, swallow your pride and just re-release that.
I believe it's actually still in stock at Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah. Possibly in the wave set with Chromia and Windblade, but none of those are particularly bad toys, so it's
No, they're
not a
really
bad
not.
choice.
No, that Chromia was off the Prime RC mold. That's actually a good toy.
Yeah, I really liked that figure.
I think my favorite RC is still the Hascon exclusive RC.
Because it's doing something
The
different.
Headmaster. Yeah.
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 Yeah. This design sucks. It's not a good toy. If you're not like me and you buy everything, you don't need it.
What
And
if you don't have an RC?
Yeah. If you don't have one,
if you
Go to Big Bad Toy
Cyberverse.
Store and buy the Thrilling 31.
Yeah.
or go on eBay and get a cheap Energon RC.
I love
It's
Energon
really
RC.
it's really kind of sad because in terms of just the body design itself, I think it's a better representation of G1 RC than any other version we have gotten or are getting, and that includes the Masterpiece. It's just that the toy built around it is not particularly worth it. I haven't particularly pre-ordered this, so I have a feeling that I am just gonna leave the Paradron Medic 2-pack being the only way I end up with that mold. The one
Unfortunately,
with Ratchet.
When
what
Energon,
go ahead. I
oh,
guess.
sorry, I was going to say when Energon turns 20, can we get a redo of the Energon RC and make it
Oh,
a deluxe?
I wish.
Oh, that would be nice. You could actually do a pretty nice one of those off of the Prime RC mold now that I think about it.
Yeah, actually. So what this RC really is Cybertron Thunderblast again.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Except probably a little worse because Thunderblast minimally integrated the robot with the boat because the shins formed part of the hull. As best I have seen from pictures, RC's robot mode does not incorporate into the vehicle in any way.
And this is also being re-released as Elita 1. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting at least 3 uses of this mold this year.
Oh boy, why do they always do this with the worst molds?
Why don't they just make better molds for the female characters to begin with?
Yeah, that's a valid question.
I completely forgot about Thunderblast.
I don't blame you.
About Elita 1.
Yeah.
I don't know who Thunderblast is actually.
From Transformers Cybertron, the one female Decepticon turns
She's a
into a
boat.
boat with a big missile launcher thing.
That BotCon repainted into an Elita 1.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about. We'll move and do one news item and then jump to a topic and go back to the news. We got Transformers Tuesday, Generation Selects, Diaclone Sunstreaker 2-pack, and Red Wing.
I can explain this. Right now. Hasbro knew that my birthday was coming up, and they're like, what can we do? Diaclone homage. Thank you, Hasbro. Best birthday present ever.
You know, you might be onto something there. Because I certainly don't deserve this.
So
I never thought they'd do a 2-pack for.
I didn't think they'd do a 2-pack either. I thought we'd probably get spin out. I was not expecting a Corden at all.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of remolding because he has the light bar.
Mm-hmm.
Spin out looks great. I just think it.
They both look really good.
Yeah.
They do.
They both look better than Sunstreaker.
Because it's not having to suffer under yellow plastic and paint.
yeah.
So Matt's very happy. A lot of people I saw online were very happy with this. But it leads us though to ask, so next week is our last Tuesday reveal. So what's it going to be? And what should it be? And do you think they're going to continue doing this sort of thing in the future? And how would you like to see that done?
I definitely think they're going to keep doing it. What I would like is, since we have the Unicron coming out, sometime next year, what I would really like to see is a deluxe size dead end to kind of homage the Armada Unicron, and to have something to go with Armada Unicron that's deluxe size, like the Fort Max has Cerebros, and Scorponok has what's his name again?
Fast Track.
Yeah, Fast Track or Megazarak, or I just feel like we need something deluxe to go with Unicron.
It'd be fun.
I got a deluxe dead end right here. Like, that would totally work, right?
That's a great dead end. I love that figure.
It's a great deco. Any excuse to show that off on camera. It was Transformers Prime Deluxe Dead End.
All right, so rampant speculation here. What do we think the next one is going to be?
Well, so I got a theory on how I want this to play out. So, like, if we look at this as a game of escalation, like, theoretically for the final Transformers Tuesday, they need to top Spin Out and Corden, which is a tall order. Like, if it was me, I would expect that to have been number 5. That would be like the pinnacle of this whole selects reveal process. For my own personal purposes here, one of the very few things that could top this would be what I've been wanting for years and years and years, which would be Generations E-Hobby Sunstorm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the technical minded would say, like, Sunstorm should be done off of the Tetrajet mold because Sunstorm appeared on Cybertron. But, like, no, I specifically want a Generations version of the E-Hobby toy, which was just, Earth mode Starscream in beautiful, eye-searing orange and creamsicle.
It would be
And
great on that Earthrise mold.
I think Generation Select's G2 Sandstorm kind of makes a precedent for doing something in that application because it's a Generation Select based off of a toy concept rather than a specific character interpretation. So I think that makes it less out of the realm of possibility they would do a redeco of Earthrise Starscream as Sunstorm rather than going for the Tetrajet. But like I'd buy the Tetrajet also if it came down to that, as long as it's orange and not yellow, because that's always been my complaint with Hasbro Sunstorms. They go with yellow, which I guess makes sense in one way, but to me, Sunstorm's always going to be that original orange toy. Orange.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So I'm thinking like they are definitely stepping up. The next thing I would logically guess at, hope for, what my prediction for number 5 is powered convoy, like the Delta Magnus off of that.
I would love that.
Off that Ultra Magnus. That's what I think it's going to be. What I wish it were going to be, but I absolutely know is never going to happen. Let's go Titan class and get that Black Zarek off of this excellent Scorponok mold.
So I don't know that they're going to escalate. I honestly think it's probably going to be something that would let down. So what I'd actually like to see would be a slicer off of Wheeljack, just because I like slicer.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Those are good colors.
Yeah.
Well, and in a more realistic sense, like I think too, it might not be for right now, but like the Bailiff from the Quintesson Pit of Judgment set, that retool of the Elecon, like I think that's going to end up in selects at some point, and it probably wouldn't be what they reveal this coming Tuesday, but it could be.
Now, should this continue in the future, I want more Diaclone stuff. Like I need a blue streak. I need a black Ironhide.
Yes.
We need a red Mirage.
Oh dear God, yes.
There was
with all opaque plastic.
All opaque
Yes.
plastic, absolutely. There was one more I was thinking of.
Sorry.
Crap, what was it? Lost my train of thought.
Black Tracks.
See, I wasn't thinking of that one. But Red Mirage popped in my head and knocked my third one out of there. So, Red Hoist.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So
For low hanging fruit, I was going to say the Black Ironhide, but that would be kind of like, here's another Diaclone to go with the 2 we released last week, and good night.
on Patreon, our
I want
patrons
those.
suggested, Mark Alley said Delta Magnus, which again, great minds think alike.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Crow said G2 Blackout concept.
Oh yeah, another Seeker.
Yeah. That would be
buy it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Or an Earthrise Barricade.
So we think we're actually getting Barricade in one of the Netflix waves down the line. So that may happen regardless.
Jason Hiley said Artfire. But
Right?
something not G1 would be great. Again, Delta Magnus, though, potentially. And he would enjoy more of these in the future if he lived in a time zone that was more compatible with this being in Asia.
Yeah, I think we.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we pretty much have to resign to this last one being G1 just because they haven't gotten past the G1 molds yet. But if they do this again, like around Kingdom Time, then you could probably get some different.
Hey, if it's Diaclone, it's not G1.
Yeah, it's Proto G1.
It's Proto G1. Yeah. Spider Bob said the Ark. The Ark. He wants the Ark.
Okay, dreaming big there.
Yeah. So, what else? Any other rampant speculation?
Well, Rodimus Supreme wants Bengal Tiger Tigatron next year
Ooh, I'd buy that.
for $1.
Oh my God, what was that? Sorry.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
You need better soundproofing in there, man.
Yeah. This room happens to be between the 4-year-old's room and the 8-year-old's room. So.
Oh
yeah,
no.
we're gonna get some noise.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that thinks it's not something, but they would really like it?
I would
Yeah,
not mind.
Sunstorm.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
imagine.
Black
Yeah.
Sarek.
Yeah. Like, I was thinking of the worst case scenarios to what it could be, and just under the circumstances, I'm going to say Double Clouder.
I would even take a battle convoy. Just
Oh, that
Earthrise
would be
Optimus
fun.
with the convoy on the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
I mean, that is, at thinking about it, though, that's actually another possibility, is that a little bit left field, given that those molds are a few years old, but they could finally do Darkwing and Dreadwind as Buster and Hydra.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean they wouldn't be super different from the retail version,
Yeah.
but they are so far removed from when they came out that wouldn't
Yeah, you
really
just-
matter that much.
just change the purples to reds pretty much, and
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
And for that matter too, like if they wanted to do that as like a $50 set instead of a $40 2-pack, do more redecos of the the cassette guys as their Power Masters.
Alternately, if there's any
Okay.
Prime Master Pretender armors out there that they never got out, putting those in some kind of Master Force set would be nice too.
There was the Cloudburst retool that they showed off for Grand Max when they were doing that campaign.
Yeah.
So that exists and was never released. So theoretically, that's something they could go back to. But I don't feel like they'd probably go back to Prime Masters ever.
Ooh,
Yeah.
One more thing. Do you think since Soundwave is getting released as a Walmart exclusive, they might do like a Sound Blaster or something?
It's not impossible.
I expect Sound Blaster to show up somewhere. He was in the Siege show.
I hate to say it though, but probably because he was in the Siege show, if he does show up, he will be like the deco you wanted and the mold you wanted with a Mercenaries faction symbol.
That horrible Mercenaries faction symbol.
Toy hack.
Over clear plastic. Over clear plastic.
Yes. That'll look nice with the good foil Decepticon sticker on there.
If it's a paint app over clear plastic, you can usually scrape that off non-destructively.
Anything else?
Like my last long shot thing, like not likely, but not, I guess, not 100% impossible would be an Omega Guardian.
Ooh. Yes. I would buy all of these things.
Don would be happy. Okay, so jumping into the rest of the news, Toy Fair has been postponed.
No.
Aw.
What?
Yeah, we all saw that coming, sadly.
We're disappointed, but are we surprised?
No.
No.
So I didn't even realize there was a Toy Fair Dallas, but that usually held in October.
I didn't know either.
No.
John, why aren't you there? Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I was sniping on a auction. I don't know. I know exactly where it's done, but I don't know. So one of these years, I should take off work and mosey on down.
I mean, I don't think Toy Fair Dallas is like the same as we think of Toy Fair New York.
No, but it's fun.
Yeah.
all the
Like-
same.
That I'm sure is much more for real trade show than what the New York event has become.
For sure.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Does anyone know when it was postponed till?
So the Dallas one is not going to happen until next year when it would have happened ordinarily. Toy Fair New York right now, they're just kind of looking at putting something together in the spring of next year. So they're going to try to carry that out as early as they can. It's just definitely not happening the normal weekend in February.
Well, I mean, one good thing to come out of it, at least I won't have to worry about standing outside freezing my tail off till the event opens.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, for our specific purposes, I don't think we're going to lose out much besides like the specific experience of being there in person. Hasbro will absolutely do some kind of streaming event to do their product reveals, plus the exclusive previews that they farm out to well-known Transformers websites like Screen Rant
Mm-hmm.
and GameSpot.
IGN, of course.
Yeah, I think they did MTV one year.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of making a Transformers related purchase.
Oh, Brian's audio is very weird right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly ominous.
Yeah.
Nothing major.
Yeah, on my side it sounds fine.
Okay.
It's like his noise gate was working in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably was.
Oh, okay.
It's a gate and an expander. So, yeah.
Well, I just haven't expanded the gate.
Yeah. But hey,
But on the other hand, we do have something new announced.
yeah, Hasbro PulseCon. I guess that means there's no HasCon ever.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I guess this is our replacement for HasCon. So they.
And SDCC.
And New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's three shows in one.
And U.S. and Canada only, which has made our our friends in the UK, which I would say the UK. I mean, I guess just when it comes to volume of trans fans in the English-speaking world, the UK is probably third after Canada, but it's probably close. So there's a lot of fans who feel like Hasbro doesn't give a crap about them.
Like, I think they're right to feel left out or marginalized by this. But like, I don't think Hasbro is doing this maliciously. Like, they're not setting out to exclude the rest of the world. I think it's kind of a case of, since it's Hasbro PulseCon, and Hasbro Pulse specifically is a retailer that covers the United States and Canada, like, in that context, it's kind of natural to expect that the Hasbro Pulse event is going to be for those territories also. Like, they're not going to show and debut products for places where they can't be ordered from.
So,
like, that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah.
I hope Hasbro in other regions is planning to do something similar, or at least make the products available for the fans in those places, on a similar time frame. But like, I at least on one level get why this is region restricted.
Yeah.
But I think Hasbro could do with more transparency on that matter too, just to try to smooth some of the international reaction to it.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there's some way to, make good.
So all the formerly SDCC exclusives apparently are going to be made available during Hasbro PulseCon, which is the last Friday and Saturday of this month, I think.
The 25th and 26th.
Yeah, it's during the week, isn't it?
It's a Friday and a Saturday.
And a Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to miss the first day because I'll be at work.
I'll miss both days.
And I'll probably miss the second day because I'll be.
Yeah, I'll probably just miss the stuff that I want, like that Marvel Legends Hellfire Club set and the Pit of Judgment.
I have hopes that because there isn't a San Diego Comic-Con, like, there's a lot more inventory to be directed to the online sales, and it's not going to be the stereotypical, get your SDCC leftovers on Hasbro Pulse or Hasbro Toy Shop as it used to be.
If you can beat the bots to them.
Yeah.
Well, at least Hasbro Pulse does enforce purchase limits on a lot of their stuff.
It
Yes,
didn't make a difference last year.
I guess. But last year, it was literally leftovers from the show.
Was it bad last year?
It was horrible last year.
For some of the stuff, it was. The Power Ranger set in particular was kind of a nightmare to even think about getting.
Mm-hmm.
Matt went on several tirades about that last year.
So angry.
Check back in the archives about 55 episodes, let's say, something like that. Wherever San Diego Comic-Con fell last year and the exclusives released online.
Those are usually in September, aren't they? Like a month after. I remember. Right.
It
Sounds right.
It has been since the Pulse changeover, at least. With Hasbro Toy Shop, it was a lot more random.
Oh, it's totally random.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Hasbro Pulse Con. It's another in a long string of Hasbro really like embracing and adapting to this. Everything has to be a live stream now for like fan engagement and product reveals.
So something I just didn't and still don't understand. So this happened right in the middle of moving. The second Netflix War for Cybertron spoiler pack was revealed, and it's available on Pulse to order.
Also, like Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, probably TF stores.
But it's Nemesis Prime.
Yeah.
But it's Nemesis Prime, but it doesn't have the good paint of the Japanese one. But this one comes with a black version of the Earthrise trailer. This is the Siege mold Optimus Prime, but it comes with the Earthrise trailer, and the Power of the Primes add-on parts, the like the Armada inspired arm blasters and the Dark Saber.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get this.
And what infuriates me, because it's the one thing I want in the pack, is a red Slitherfang.
Yes, read his plank.
I'm so glad that's caught on.
I don't understand why they just didn't do this in the Earthrise.
Because the Earthrise mold is being concurrently used in the Voyager assortment for the Netflix series.
Yeah.
So I think the whole reason they're able to have the Siege cab robot with the Earthrise trailer is because they're producing Earthrise Prime in a different deco. And they are just taking the produced trailer parts and putting them with these Siege robot
toys,
parts. Yeah. The same way that they are running from, I'm sure, a separated tooling, the Power of the Primes, Nemesis Prime extra weapon parts. You know, they're taking elements from 3 different things because it's set up to be able to do that, and putting it all together when it goes to wherever it goes for packaging.
You know what? All this is going to make me want to do is buy a Nemesis Prime in the Earthrise mold whenever they do that, because they haven't done that yet, right?
Correct.
So that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to buy this, and then I'm going to have to buy the Nemesis Prime in the Earthrise mold.
Well, you have to buy this one for the black trailer, so you can put it with the Earthrise single pack Optimus Prime, so you can get your G2 Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I've seen people mention that on Twitter, because that's actually a set of repro labels, and that will be a pretty perfect match.
Oh crap! You're right.
And I think people were suggesting also that the Earthrise use, or the Netflix use of Earthrise Optimus in the Voyager assortment seems like it had darker blues, which would also be consistent with G2.
Yep, darker blues, and I think a slightly more muted red as well.
So, like, yeah, I think they're like stealth G2 Optimusing us across 2 toys,
but
that nobody actually wants.
Yeah, that's far too expensive for me to piecemeal together, you know, the Nemesis Prime that I would want or the G2 Optimus Prime that I would want. So I'm just not going to buy any of them.
Well, good news, Matt. This, at least at Walmart, this leader spoiler pack will probably go on deep clearance within a matter of weeks.
Well, my Walmart won't stock them to begin with, so
I wonder if Walmart bought too much of the first one, and that is why we're seeing all these other retailers carrying this one.
Yeah, so, like, my theory on this, and, you know, just using my reasoning here, it was obviously too late in the process of Netflix Wave 2 to cancel the spoiler packaging for this Nemesis Prime. And nobody realized somehow how bad of an idea blind box packaging is for a $60 toy. So there wasn't time to go back and change that or like cancel that price point even. So I think what has happened is Walmart probably backed out of some of their order. Because Walmart has the power to do that. Like, even if they have a contract, they can just say, yeah, no, we don't want to take these anymore. If you want to make a problem with that, we're not going to take any of them anymore. Sue us. sue us. We'll just pay you off. We can afford to. We're Walmart. So Hasbro then has a bunch of backstock. And remember, the Ultra Magnus packs ended up on at least Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store for like $35.
Oh,
They did?
Not
Yes,
too
they
long
did.
after Walmart started clearancing them, which to me that sounds like Hasbro had to do a buyback of the inventory that
And
probably at least
redistribute. Yeah.
yeah, they did a buyback of whatever was still in the distribution centers.
Yeah,
Like the
I
stuff that
agree.
went to the stores got clearanced out everywhere that carried them, and Hasbro had to do a buyback of everything else because Walmart wasn't having that anymore, obviously. So like, yeah, this suddenly turning up at all of these fan channel retailers, as Hasbro puts it, that has to be a sign of Walmart just saying like, no, we are not taking all of this again. We are not taking this bath a second time.
I agree.
Rob, were you trying to say something a minute ago?
Sorry.
Was I? I think I was probably trying to say the same thing about the G2 Prime thing that you were, Matt. But if I was trying to say anything after that, it has left my brain.
Yeah, sorry if I steamrolled over anything.
Don't worry about it.
I tend to do that, you know.
Cool.
It happens. I've done it myself.
Yeah,
So, Ratchet and Lifeline, we mentioned it before.
kind of.
Kind
We
of.
mentioned,
Yeah,
we mentioned
I'm not-
Lifeline.
I'm not nearly as excited about that Lifeline part of that 2-pack anymore.
It's not the right Lifeline.
Well, that Ratchet you really don't want to look at from the back in vehicle mode because those feet are ugly.
Well, it's the same problem Ironhide has.
Yeah, there's a few design choices on
Yeah.
Ratchet that I'm not 100% thrilled with. For one, just give me a G1 Ratchet with red hands, damn it. Finally. And also just the black legs just don't match any color scheme for Ratchet that I am aware of. So yeah.
No, but they had to mold those tires, so
Yeah, it's the same reason that Siege Ratchet had white tires, but they were okay with that because Cybertronian vehicle.
luckily I think I still have a spare Siege Ratchet around here somewhere, so I may do some mix and match parts.
Yeah, I actually. That might be harder than you think, though, because a lot of that stuff is pinned in.
Yeah.
Walkie actually tried it and found that the parts that you need to give Ratchet white legs are fairly easily removable without dealing with pins.
Hooray!
Ooh, okay.
That mold also has white hands that are much easier to paint. So
Yeah. So of the two, I think I'd rather have Earth Mode Ratchet be correct. So I may mix and match those myself, even though I only have the one Siege Ratchet.
Yeah,
Good thing I have extra Ratchets.
I've got two of them also. So more interestingly with this probably is this new Galactic Odyssey collection that this is kicking off. So this looks like it's going to be a string of Amazon exclusives. And so this is story-wise, this would be like between Siege and Earthrise. It's the journey of the Ark through different points in space. The inside packaging flap has a space map on it with 5 planets called out. Paradron's the first one that they're visiting on the journey. And
hence the Paradron medic.
while they're not updating it very well, they did have like a feature page that had a sort of countdown. It has the number 29 on it, and it says the next reveal will happen in 29. Now it's been at 29 for like a week already.
Whoops.
But we can presume that the next reveal is intended to happen at the end of this month. And that'll be for, I think the next planet on the list is Micron.
I think so, yeah.
There's actually a lot of detail on the Amazon landing page for this Galactic Odyssey thing. So with Transformers Tuesdays coming to an end, this seems like it's going to be the paced reveal event that's going to take over for that for the next few months, apparently.
Any ideas on?
Well, okay,
What
so like from the
figures?
planet names, you can extrapolate at least like a little bit. So one of them is Dominus, which from doing a little research seems to be the probably more trademark enforceable version of Planet Master from Headmasters.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Ooh, is there
so-
Planet Beast?
Yeah, Biosphere would be Planet Beast. Micron would be Planet Micro from Zone.
Ooh.
I think there might be a chance with the Planet Micro, we might see some of the other missing cassette characters get represented, because if that would be like Micromasters and stuff, they would need to do several of them to get a solid multi-pack price point.
I saw like some speculation that maybe that was for micro change, and we do have new mini bot characters coming out. Specifically, Warpath and Huffer, I think, are getting new molds.
Another possibility for that though is Botropolis, which if that would
that's
be
what I was thinking of. Okay,
yeah, if that's like the Gobatron equivalent,
because we're getting Bug Bite. Yeah,
Warpath into Treads, something like that.
Yeah, I believe somebody mentioned that Botropolis is also the planet in the Hasbro version of GoBots, the kids' toys. So,
yeah, the GoBots.
Yeah, those.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of instead of micro change from Planet Micro.
Yeah, so that's there's a possibility we could end up with characters from that too.
Yeah, so like we can kind of get a sense of what the theming for this is going to at least be.
Weird
probably,
repaints.
Well, yeah, I mean, like what particular shape some of those repaints are going to take, if not the actual characters. But probably most of these sets are going to have like an Autobot character from the Ark. But I would imagine there'd be at least one Decepticon-centered one.
So
which hopefully that'd be Planet Micro, so we can get a Buzzsaw finally.
Yeah.
We keep talking more and more about the Ark. So, I mean, this is just adding, to me, it's adding credibility that we're going to get an Ark as the next, in some form, we're getting an Ark. I mean, I would just, at this point, I'd be disappointed if we don't.
I'm going to be disappointed if we do. I just don't
Well,
care.
At least either way, one of you will be disappointed, and
Yeah.
I'll be delighted.
Yes, the rest of us will win.
Micron, do you think we might get? I mean, because we've got all sound or sound waves minis. Could we get blasters?
Well, no, we're missing Buzzsaw still, so we have to have Buzzsaw.
Well,
We have to have Buzzsaw.
We don't have Enemy either. That's a 2-pack right there.
Yeah.
Except I'm pretty sure the bird is getting molded to the Ravage. So it would have to be like Buzzsaw and Gargoyle or something like that.
But no
Or
one wants
Glint.
that Ravage toy again.
No.
Yes, well, unfortunately, we don't always get what we want or don't want. Or
can we make a ram horn out of that?
Actually, maybe.
Guess you could.
It would be an awful ram horn, but like, I don't see why you couldn't do something like that. Yeah.
Maybe it'd work better as a ram horn than a Ravage.
Awful.
The other problem too would be like if you wanted to get a rewind and eject off of the humanoid mold, like what would you remold the Rat Bat into to make it into something else that would be suitable? Because we're kind of running out of Rat Batable characters.
We only need Rat Bat.
We already have Rat Bat and Wing Thing.
Exactly.
So. Rat Bat's awesome.
But we already have.
Not enough.
Well, I should amend that.
Actually, Rat Bat was ridiculously difficult to come by. So
yeah,
a reissue of that would not be a bad idea.
I was going to amend that statement, and like cool people have Rat Bat already. Cool, forward-thinking people have Siege Rat Bat. But yeah, no, if they wanted to fulfill the fan request for getting these specific tape people out again, like shoehorning them into a pack of Micromaster size stuff, like that would totally be a way to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and jump to the last news item because I'm physically and mentally exhausted. I am going to read it just like Chris wrote it. Who's that Generation Selects Pokemon?
So Takara Tomi's official Transformers Twitter account tweeted out a tease for the next Generation Selects project because Super Megatron comes out at the end of this month in Japan. Those of us who ordered on Hasbro Pulse will probably have to wait until December or maybe Arbor Day.
Arbor Day.
So what we can see here is a silhouette that is obviously Volcanicus. With I have to give credit to Autobase Aichi for this, for making the connection. The added shapes in the background are consistent with a pair of the giant like cleaver swords Grimlock had in Fall of Cybertron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know anything about what this is actually going to be, or how it's going to be released, which is possibly why there's not like a specific news article about this yet, because there's virtually nothing to even say about it.
Everybody's seen Dino King.
Yeah, early on we were speculating Dino King just because, like, you know, jumping off of something like King Poseidon or God Neptune, it just kind of follows that line of thought. But like, what's seeming more reasonable at this point, as the speculation, I guess, is maturing. One school of thought on this is it would be like more cartoon accurate Dinobots, maybe with some retooling to make the combiner a little bit better. Or the other possibility might be G2 colors for the Power of the Prime's Dinobots.
Interesting.
I can't see them going the Dino King route, because I mean that's the Enterobots combined, and they weren't the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs were the Pretender shells.
Yeah,
I don't think Takara Tomy would be willing to make that leap.
probably not.
At the same time, I mean, what did the G2 Dinobot colors mean to them, though?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's just going to be a pack of slightly repainted Dinobots.
Yeah, it could be.
In which case, I do not need that at all.
Yeah, what's the point?
Well,
It's combined.
yeah, I mean, even if it's going to seem odd for me to say this, even if it wasn't G2 colors, I think I would still skip this, because like those Dinobot molds are okay, and you know, in the moment when they were released, it was nice to have a full set of Generations Dinobots.
Mm-hmm.
But like Studio Series is starting to come out with Dinobots next year, and I don't think they're going to leave that team unfinished. So like we're probably going to have a better option for that overall.
That
I don't
combine.
I don't need those Power of the Prime
Dinobots
ones
aren't
again.
supposed to combine.
Yeah, it goes against all laws of nature. Yeah, even if it was the G2 colors, I don't think I could be convinced to get this. Now, there's definitely like quality of life things they could do for normal Dinobot colors. Swapping out all that clear plastic that's mixed into the original versions of those toys for opaques, especially like bright yellows or painted over in gold to look a little bit more like how it was in the animation. Because the transparencies on the original Dinobot toys weren't really represented in the media. So you know, that's one immediate big thing they could do to kind of improve on the appearance of those. And if they are willing to go down the retooling road, they can really fix up, especially on Grimlock, some of the unfortunate design choices that were necessitated in the original engineering of the combined form. Or, you know, it could just be unmodified, slightly deco changed Dinobots with, like, you know, a pile of new weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun. We'll see.
All
I got
of
a
these
quick
things,
thought on that
anyway.
Yeah,
Oh,
John's
sorry,
got a
John.
thought.
So I don't think that's going to happen, but I think it's possible because we've gotten gender swapped Megatron and the Mighty Orbots. So I think we could get anything. But it could be just like a hodgepodge of stuff. So it could be a bunch of random characters, not necessarily all Dinobot team, but it could be just this random, buffet of obscure characters, because they did that with Grand Galvatron, and Grimlock just happens to be the torso.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, they've done crazy things before, so
Oh yes.
I don't think it's going to
Okay.
happen, but they've done
Yeah,
that.
I hope-
Don't turn this into a toy that I have to buy, John.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen, because I might actually be interested in that. I don't need to go down this Generation Select Combiner road again. The only, like,
Not
Takara
for anything
originated...
other than Guard City or Battle Gaia.
I was going to say the only Takara initiated Combiner project I want anything to do with at this point is Raiden.
yeah.
Yeah.
One of the Raiden trains is a remold of Grimlock.
That'd be funny.
That would be great.
Well, if they want to try that, I want to see how it turns out.
Actually, yeah.
So, John, I noticed that there's a new shirt.
Oh yeah, there is.
I love it.
The only scale in town, 3 3/4. That's what
It's,
dreams are made of.
3 3/4. That looks a lot like the logo of a favorite toy line.
Yes, that comes in that scale. I don't know what you're talking about with your 6-inch lines, but
It's a gem.
yes, it is in fact gem. No, yeah. So there's a an American Hero based design out there now on the shop that proudly states your affiliation or your pledges your loyalty to 3
Undying
3/4.
devotion.
Yes, to 3 3/4.
Trying to show it and not
Is
having
it
luck.
Rambo?
Also, yes,
that would be a
it's
great
Jim
shirt
and
for
Rambo.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I love this shirt. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
one.
So, and that also, like, by no coincidence, I finally, like, after like 7 years, upgraded my Adobe Creative Suite. So now I'm actually going to like mess around with stuff, probably more. So
Sweet. It's beautiful.
I hate the subscription model, but like up-to-date Adobe stuff is like awesome.
yeah,
It
it sure
is.
is. Also awesome discovering again, like 7 years too late, that your spouse is an educator and connecting the
yeah.
dots.
Or that you have a child.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I've been able to get licensing very inexpensively since I have a kid in school now.
Oh, that's a great scam.
Yes.
Now I know why you got kids.
Yep. Cheaper software. Okay.
Wow,
That makes
that's
perfect sense.
that's amazing Dononomics right there, Kilby.
It is. Also amazing Dononomics. You can go to patreon.com/tfradio and become a patron. That'd be wonderful. Dr. Peter did it today. He is now a touched patron. He's awesome. And he needs help with getting that pit set coming out from Canada.
Sounds like a lot of people are going to need help with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So, but you too can be a patron. We have all sorts of stuff. We have a new returning podcast. That one episode of Star Trek, bi-weekly. It will be out every other week, and it'll be exclusive to Patreon for 2 weeks. So pretty awesome.
Yeah, so the first episode is up for patrons right now. The next episode, which has already been recorded, should go up for patrons on the 12th. And then, of course, if you cannot become a patron, we understand we're not trying to, pressure you or, hold content over your head entirely. We do have some completely patron exclusive things, and they're cool things that you really should check on if you can. But if you can't become a patron and you still want to catch up with our thoughts on Star Trek, the first episode of The Return will go live for everybody on the 14th, which is a Monday.
Yep. And I'm going to post, haven't recorded it yet, the RC throwback for this August episode, but I didn't get a chance to record it because of the move, so I'll be recording that this weekend. And I will be discussing Mystery of Convoy and the Headmaster's game. Mystery of Convoy, of course, for the Famicom, and the Headmaster's game, which is for the Famicom Disk System. So I'll be talking about that and some other stuff, so I'm excited about it. So if you're interested in that, again, patreon.com/tfradio. We have a new weekly podcast as well, History on the Fives, where we talk about what was going on 5, 10, 15 years ago in Transformers. And the last week's episode was great. We'll figure out who's going to be on this coming week's episode. We haven't recorded it yet, so. But really enjoying that podcast. I think it's something fun that we can do for our patrons. So it's not that we don't, and that's an exclusive podcast again for our patrons. It's not that we don't want to produce content for everybody else, but if we're going to produce the content, we want to put it in front of the people that are going to listen to it. So patreon.com/tfradio. Actually, speaking of, let's thank our touched patrons again. I'm going to screw up Peter's last name. I think he put it in the chat. Let's see here. Peter Giannakopoulos. I'm going to completely butcher that, but thank you. Kevin Dorsey, Sean Bratton, Jacob Owen Lucia. I can say that it's because my voice is thrashed right now, that's the reason I couldn't pronounce it. Sean Hamilton, Mike Mallory, Jason Hiley, Jonathan James, Matthew Dedman, Hector Bones, Nathan Sampy, Spider Bob, Rabbits, Emmett Sresovich, Gaming Fix, Patrick Davidson, and Joey Russell. Thank you all so much. You guys are awesome. You can find those folks at tfradio.net/credits. Oh, and you can find us everywhere. We're basically literally everywhere. So, we haven't mentioned him during the show, but we've been watching along on our Discord at tfradio.net/discord. And we love our folks there. That's where we go and we monitor the chat during the live stream, and we can interact with our folks there. The reason we do that is just one place where we can all get together, whether you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Where else do we stream? Twitch. Yeah. You can just all chat along at tfradio.net/discord, and we're there throughout the week. I'm not there as often as I'd like. I mostly lurk during the week.
Me too.
Yeah. But you know what? One thing I really like is the folks on our Discord do a good job of posting news there. So sometimes if I want to know something, it's just all placed there on the Discord, and I don't even have to go search for it on Twitter. It's great.
That is pretty handy.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find us most places as at TF Radio, like on Twitter, on Instagram, we're at TF Podcast, Facebook.com/TF Radio. We have a Roku channel, a Fire TV channel. We're on Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, blah, 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 blah. Rob Springer.
Brian's running out of steam so fast.
Yeah, that's the reason I've hardly been able to talk during this. It's not just that I'm tired. My voice was a man. Next week hopefully, no, I've still got tons of crap to move this weekend. So I'll probably be thrashed in too. Rob Springer's not here, but he's at zonebase.org and at RoboRobSpringer on Twitter. I'm at B Kilby on Twitter and at Brian Kilby on Instagram. If you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you can see the photos of the ducks that the kids in my new neighborhood, were walking. Never seen anything like it. It was so weird. Pretty cool, though. Let's see here. Chris, how do people get a hold of you?
I'm personally on Twitter at ChrisRTXV. I have stuff for sale. Please come buy it because I need to replenish my funds because Amazon's just like throwing all of my pre-orders at me at once, basically, and it hurts. It hurts so bad.
And Hasbro just keeps announcing more.
Now, for a lot of what I do with the stuff I have on pre-order, that's now all coming at me at once and costing me lots of money I kind of don't have. You can follow me for my photography work on social media at Play With Photos on Twitter or on Instagram at Play With Photography. All of my collected works, like galleries, articles, etc., are on playwithphotography.com. I'm working on some stuff to post in the upcoming weeks and hopefully do something interesting next month. Got some vague ideas of how that might materialize, and I just kind of need to push forward and actually make the time to do most of it. So coin toss, basically. If you like what I do and want to help show your support, help me do more of it, you can join my Patreon at patreon.com/playwithphotos. For like $2 per month, you can help me to just kind of keep the operations going. And of course, with higher tiers, there's more benefits like credits on galleries and other such things that I might not even have thought of yet. Oh, and I have a Amazon wishlist at tfradio.net/chrislist. There's gift cards which, help with pre-orders that haven't been charged yet, which is increasingly fewer now. But it's also nice to just get random acts of kindness thrown at me in the mail.
Speaking of random acts of kindness, thank you, Diecast, for the Amazon card for my birthday. I appreciate that.
No problem. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. You're awesome.
I know.
John, how do people get a hold of you?
That John D everywhere.
Everywhere?
Last I checked.
Oh, cool. Diecast.
You can follow me on Twitter at Diecast2. I post random stuff, I think.
Yeah, you do.
And then you can also like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast, and you can see all my reviews on tfradio.net/reviews.
Cool. Rob.
Okay, I am on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Rob Flails. Rob Flails is the official Twitter account of Flailthroughs, my gaming channel on YouTube, where I cover mostly Gundam games at the moment, Gundam Battle Operation 2 and Gundam Extreme Versus. Battle Operation 2 update goes live every Thursday morning because, well, probably early afternoon, realistically, because I'm up late to record it. But they're adding a new mobile suit a week. They just added the Dryson from Gundam Double Zeta, which is fun to use. Big axe hacks things. It's nice. And if you like what I'm doing there, patreon.com/flailthroughs. You can throw me a couple of bucks, request things in Gundam Extreme Versus Maxi Boost on or GBO2. And I also have the Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/claylist.
Cool. Okay. Hey, we'll be back next week with Don. Happy Bihei. Girlfriend. Girlfriend. Okay, that's a good place to stop.
Yes.
Can the episode title be Happy Bihei?
Happy Bihei. I want to make sure that Don actually wrote that. That's how I read it, but I'm tired.
But
If he didn't actually...
Canonically, he did.
Okay, good.
I
was
like
about to say,
Rob's
if he-
suggestion.
Yes, now with acceptable levels of radon.
Yes.
Yeah. That. Well, let's see here. Don's text. Gosh, I miss a lot of texts. Bihei, yeah.
It's so crazy. You're better with emails than texts.
I'm increasingly better with text than emails. I used to say, don't text me, email me, but, you know. Excuse me. Actually, it's late. And honestly, I kind of want to go to sleep. We can...
Yeah, I don't think you have a post show in you.
I don't have a post show in me.
We had a pretty good pre-show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
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 People watching live, we'll see you later. You're the best.